back to the channel. Today I'm headed up to Colorado Springs to pick up a 1965 Mini Cooper. I saw it on Facebook Marketplace and I was like, man, this would be kind of cool to have. It's an actual British one, so it's right-hand drive, and it looks like it's been really neglected, and it looks like it was a project. Supposedly it was a race car before, but let's head up there, grab this thing.
I had a 78. Gosh, when I bought my 78 in 2008.
Yeah.
And then I bought the shell of this in probably 2010. So I've had probably about 10 years. But I drove my 78 for probably 8 years. What I ended up doing was pulling pretty much everything that was in my 78, anything that was good, and I'm going to reuse it for this one. The motor and this is actually out of my 78.
Yeah. So is it, do you think it's good, or?
Oh yeah. When I put it in this, it had 60,000 original miles. And it had, loads of compression. I dropped a new head on it, checked everything then, and I threw a U starter in at the time. Starter burnt out. Probably, I think it was the last time I tried starting it. These will go up to 32. Suspension parts in here, like brand new suspension parts.
Yeah.
All adjustable shit.
Just finished loading the Mini Cooper up, and man, look how tiny that thing looks on my big trailer. But this is kind of cool because it's a 60, I think it's 65 or 63. I guess the window's smaller. It came with 2 trunks, 1 hood. It has a set of wheels back here, but I'm gonna take it home and then go through it and kind of figure out what we're working with. The guy is still gonna bring all the rest of the parts on Sunday, but yeah, I'm just really happy to got this thing loaded up. He said it has a bunch of aftermarket parts on it, and the tow on it was horrible lifting it up here, so it was just kind of a pain, and my battery was almost running out. But let's get back home and then mess with this, maybe even try to get started. Kind of want to figure out what is in this thing. So it looks like it has an aftermarket radiator. Not 100% sure if the engine runs. The guy said that it used to run, but it's been sitting for a very long time. The front end is a full fiberglass piece. The fiberglass up there broke. I may end up just getting some original fenders or something. I kind of want to run flares. What do you think about the car?
I think it's funny. It's fun looking. It's cute. You don't even fit in there.
Hey, look how big it is from the floor to the top.
It's hilarious.
I could fit. It has wheels too inside. I just need to get tires and re-powder coat them.
It's funny. It's funny. I like the color.
No, it's gonna be a different color. What I do right now is check the fluids on the Mini Cooper engine and then maybe try to get it started. It doesn't have a key, or I haven't found the key yet, but there is a battery in the back of the trunk. It is dead, and I think, I don't know, I probably can get it just hot wired and get it to start. I want to pull the carburetor off too, make sure there isn't a bunch of water or anything down in the intake manifold. So when I start it, I'm also going to pull the spark plugs and look in there and put some oil in there just to make sure that it doesn't start up dry. I'll probably end up cranking it over by hand a few times. Looks like it has oil in it, and the oil looks pretty clean. So let's check the radiator fluid really quick. And it's surprising how tiny these blocks are. I mean, look how small this thing is. So let's see what we got going on in here. No fluid in there. Decided to pull the valve cover off so I could look at the valve chain on the Mini Cooper. It was pretty easy, it was just those two, and everything up here looks brand new. The guy said that this was a built racing engine. I'm not sure if I should believe that or not, but it looks like it's all brand new. The seals all look good, and I really want to pull this intake manifold off now and just make sure there's nothing down there. But I really think this thing should fire up. I mean, look at all this. This is all nice and new. Not really, there's no rust. I don't see any rust up here, and everything seems like it's adjusted correctly. So I'm going to be pretty surprised. It looks like the valves are actually working correctly, so I really want to turn it over. I'll probably turn it over with the valve cover off just so I could watch these and make sure none of them are sticking, just because when I start it up I don't want one to stick down or something like that. And if one is sticking, I'll just put air on it and I'll push it up. Turned the engine over by hand. It turned over freely. Also, none of the valves were sticking. It looks like this engine was recently rebuilt. One thing I was concerned about is the radiator had water in it, and so did the engine. And we are in Colorado. I'm guessing this thing's been sitting for quite some time. So I'm not sure if there's a crack in the block or what. But another issue that I had was the starter right here. I tried to rebuild it. Kind of rebuild it just to get it to work, but it didn't end up working. I'm guessing, you know, there's something else wrong with it. Usually you can flip over the contacts on these older ones and they'll work just like new, but that wasn't the case. So I don't have a starter for this. Ooh, look at that. Just put on the 10-inch aftermarket wheels. These are Mamba wheels. I have brand new center caps that actually I found inside the car, brand new in the bag. But I'm gonna repowder coat these eventually. Probably gonna keep it with 10-inch wheels. I may end up going to 13s, not exactly sure. It just depends on what I do with it. If I just restore it, I'll leave the 10s on it. Went to the junkyard, was able to find a starter out of an MGA. The only difference that I can see is the base plates. So what I'm gonna do is swap, there's 2 bolts right there and there. And it looks like the little tang is gonna line up as well. And all I have to do is swap those plates. This MGA starter should work on the Mini. It looks like the rest of everything else is consistently the same. Valve cover off once again, have the new starter put in there, and let's see if she's actually going to turn over. No? Come on. Woo! We got her. Sounds like she has compression too. So I wonder if we have spark. Let's check that. The spark plug in a wire and it doesn't have any spark. So I'm guessing looking at the coil, it's probably bad. So luckily enough, my dad had an old new Bosch coil. I'm gonna throw it on here and I think that'll resolve our issues and this thing should start. Able to get the Mini to fire up, rewire the distributor to the coil, put that new coil on, fire it up with starting fluid. So I went to the gas station, grabbed some 91. I also grabbed some fuel line. So this has a mechanical fuel pump. I also have electric fuel pump if that doesn't work. And let's see if we can actually get this thing to run for a little bit longer than I think it was like a second. Got all the fuel lines hooked up. What I have is this 5-gallon jug of 91 just running into the fuel pump, which is a manual one. I just finished priming it. Fuel comes out of the line. Also, I have just the battery connected to the positive side of this coil. So this is a starting solenoid from the ignition switch, and this is the other side of the starter. So it's just kind of jumped right now, and what I'm doing is just jumping it so it'll start the engine. But let's see if she'll fire up and see what happens. I mean, it's kind of interesting. It already starts off of starting fluid just for a second. Nothing. Oh, hold on. Forgot to connect the coil. Let's do that again. Try to start it one more time. Hell yeah! Yeah! Sounds good! Sounds good. Man, that's nice. And I just have everything, I don't have any coolant in it, so I didn't want to let it run too long. But that's nice. This thing runs, so it won't be too long till it drives. We have a starter, good starter. I'm guessing I'll check the fluids in the tranny. The engine I checked, redid all the spark plug wires, redid the ignition. Also, I need to finish fixing all this wiring, but I'll do that in the next video. It's just really haggard. A lot of it's just all over the place, especially down here, which goes to the ignition switch, which isn't really connected, and I don't have a key, so I'll have to figure out something about a key. So it's really cool that it didn't take much to get this Mini running, just a little bit of work, and I need to fix the fuel tank. I need to pull it out, make sure that everything is clean, redo all the lines. I don't think there is any fuel lines under the car. There isn't any exhaust either under the car. I'll have to redo the radiator and all the radiator hoses, as well as just kind of button a lot of stuff up, wiring and stuff like that. But I'm really happy that the car runs. It should drive, but we'll get all the radiator and stuff buttoned up. I need a front set of calipers because there's no front calipers. But yeah, it's just really nice that it just started up and it sounds really good. It's started on ether. You know, when you hear it start on ether just for a second, it doesn't have a rod knock or anything crazy. It's one of those things you're just like, yeah, I'll start on gas if it could start on ether. So I'm just really happy that we got this thing to start. And yeah, the Mini's gonna be progressing. I'm gonna end the video here. If you do like these videos, like the Mini Cooper videos, make sure to click the subscribe button, thumbs up, throw a comment below. I also have a charger project going on currently. So if you are interested in that, I have a lot of projects. Check out my other videos. But that being said, see you guys next time.